Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
All right, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Mekakadash. All blessings, honor, glory, and power be unto the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, our Lord and our Savior, whose name is Yahushua. And double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone, who taught me this truth, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. My name is Amun Gabar, and I'm back with another quick lesson. Lord willing, is edifying, straight and to the point. And as you see in the title of this video, keep your head on the swivel. All right, which is a saying. All right, I'm going to just pull that up real quick. But as we all know, all you brothers out there that are prophets and, the believers, the 1/3, you women out there that are believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and the ministry and the word that's being pushed and taught, through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. As you see what's going on in this world today, keeping your head on a swivel is the most important thing you can't be doing at this point. It is we in the midst of war. All right. But the thing is that understanding prophecy and understanding how it works and understanding how the Lord works and how he distribute the understanding to his men, we understand and know that war is not going to break out. Yeah, war is going to break out. Let me rephrase that. World War III, as far as the ICBM missiles being shot over here in America and destroying it utterly, it's not going to happen until, that major prophecy takes place, which is the mass implementation of the MOTB. But prior to all of that happening, you're going to have a whole lot of fire being kindled here on the shores of America before the Lord sends that ultimate fire. And what we're witnessing throughout the four corners of the earth of Babylon, the great America, is the Lord kindling that fire, which that's what he spoke about in the book of, let me pull it up real quick, in the book of Luke. All right, let me pull that up real fast and just get a few precepts. I want to play a video that's on my TV screen. All right, hold on one second. The book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 49, it says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I, if it be already kindled? So Yahushua is coming to send fire on that earth. That fire is that ICBM nuclear destruction. And he's asking, what will I, rhetorically asking, what will I if it be already kindled? So in other words, before Yahushua come back to send fire on this earth, there's already going to be fires taking place. And we are witnessing the fires taking place. All right, let me read this real quick. One of the bros, the priest, Zakar, had posted this in the chat amongst those brothers, elder brothers, or brothers that been in for a period of time, whatever. He posted this in the community section. In the comment of this chat, and it says, Iranian state TV says that tonight. Let me share the screen. Put this on Do Not Disturb and share the screen. So anyway, Iranian state TV says that tonight, as in tonight, right here, right now, all right, as in tonight, PM, which we're June 17th, 2025, all right, June 17th, 2025, all right, the hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction and judgment upon Esau, Edom, all right, and it is approximately or accurately 7:02, all right, Eastern time. 7:02 Eastern time, and we still in the Sabbath, new moon over here Eastern time. So Shabbat Shalom to the Lord's elect. But anyway, Iranian state TV says that tonight a great surprise will occur, one that the world will remember for centuries. And this is actual facts. This was actually said, and this is being broadcasted. I'm watching the Canadian Prepper right now on my TV that's in front of me, and he actually goes into a few things, which I'm probably going to play a little clip of what he's saying. But we are in that time. Keep your head on a swivel. Again, Iranian state TV says that tonight, right? And take it with a grain of salt. But don't just be like, oh, nothing's going to happen. don't have that the boy that cried wolf mentality. You know what I'm saying? Look up. I mean, I'm sure if you remember the stories growing up in grade school, the boy that cried wolf, and how that story went down. Or Shalakia, that whole sky is falling shit. Remember that Chicken Little movie? That I think it was a Disney movie, Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Hey, don't be in that mindset. But Iranian state TV says that tonight a great surprise will occur, one that the world will remember for centuries. And that's one thing I wanted to read. I was also watching a video put up by the brother Yashalam. His YouTube page is GMS Watchman. And there was a situation that occurred in Pennsylvania. All right, more so down towards Philly area, which is Westchester, Pennsylvania. And it's pretty much the suburbs of Philadelphia. So I'm not sure if they're considering it Philadelphia or what, or if it's outside of the whole city or county of Philadelphia. I'm not sure. But you had an individual, Edomite, that was at one of those No Kings protest event, and he was strapped. He was strapped. He had a pistol that was concealed. All right. And judging from the way the article was saying it, or the news was saying it, his only offense was that he didn't have a permit to carry he didn't have a permit to conceal carry, judging based off the article and what I was listening to. But matter of fact, what I'm gonna do is let me go to that video so I'm not butchering it, because I was listening to it and I'm like, yo, this shit sounds suspect. It don't add up. All right, because according to what happened in his charges is that he failed to have a permit or license to carry or whatever. So let me see if I could play a video that kind of goes into that. And these are all from Philadelphia news source. So I'm assuming, because it's tricky. You got to, understand the laws of the states or whatever. Because one law in this state may be different in the next state, and you got cities and counties and blah, 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 whatever. But nonetheless, let me see if I'm just, this impromptu rolling in the spirit. I didn't organize anything for this. Let me see.
And sources tell me more guns were found. Blocks.
All right, so I'm going to play this one video, and it don't make sense to me. If you ask me, this shit don't make sense. It's real suspect. All right, and I take that Esau, Edom, the elites, the powers that be, they are painting a picture to where you average American citizens, even you Edomites, all right, because you think you think that you got the so-called white privilege. Let me say it like that. That Edomite privilege is dwindling, because if you are average, typical Joe Schmo Edomite here in this society, your rights are being stripping, and they're conjuring up ways to take away your rights and label you, average Joe Schmo Edomites, as domestic terrorists as well. Because how this shit played out is more like a domestic terrorist type of a scenario. So let me see if this is the video that says what sparked, my thoughts.
See something, say something. That's what police sources tell me happened here on this corner on Saturday. Police stopped the man right by the store here on the corner of Gay Street as that rally was marching through Westchester Borough. And they say that the suspect had a gun on him, magazines, and sources tell me more guns were found blocks away from where we're standing right now.
Yes, clips. Looks like I got 15 clips.
Kevin Krebs, according to sources, is in this video being searched by Westchester police. This as the No Kings rally was taking place in the borough. As police gather, they can be seen collecting items from Krebs. According to court documents, Krebs is charged with carrying a firearm without a license. Sources say Krebs was here at the rally when someone became concerned.
All right, so his offense was carrying firearms without a license. All right, which every state is different. Every state is different. That's one thing about Esau and his society. It's so divided, and every law, even the law of marriage and dating or whatever, it's all different. You could be in one state and you could be an 18-year-old with a 18-year-old male with a 17-year-old girl in one state, and it's perfectly fine and legal. And then you go to the next state, even if your birthday is a day apart, and you go to a next state, that'd be considered a statutory grape or whatever. You know, showing you how divided this wicked ass kingdom is. So anyway, failure to provide just listen to this shit. It don't make any sense.
Borough. As police gather, they can be seen collecting items from Krebs. According to court documents, Krebs is charged with carrying a firearm without a license.
All right, that's his
Sources say
charge.
Krebs was here at the rally when someone became concerned after they saw a gun holster. Police say Krebs was walking toward the rally when they stopped him. He was asked if he had any weapons, and police say he was hesitant to answer. As police asked more questions, they say Krebs told them he had a loaded handgun under another layer of clothing. Police say they found a fully...
How the hell they find a loaded handgun under another layer of clothing? Meaning, whoever reported this and thought it was suspect, how the hell were they able to identify? Because this nigga got on a whole raincoat, a whole orange, yellow, high visibility raincoat. How the hell was they able to spot a loaded handgun underneath extra layers of clothing? And when you read the actual article, you know, they said that he got charged or whatever because he didn't have a license to carry, right? And now, like I said, there's plenty of states. This is in Pennsylvania, but Texas, Florida, blah, 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 Midwest, certain states, blah, 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 whatever. So a lot of states allow it to where, you know, people or individual citizens, as long as they are not criminally charged with any crime or whatever, not a felon, they can legally walk around with a firearm as long as it's not concealed. And you have concealed meaning hidden. Now you have states that you need actual permit or license to have it concealed. So in other words, his charge was being pretty much having that he didn't have it exposed. It was concealed. It was hidden under so many clothing. This shit is so fake. This shit is fake. And what they find out later on in this video or later on as the investigation goes to show how fake this shit is, and that they are preparing to consider all you American, especially you American Edomites, you Second Amendment tears, I'm gonna call you, all right, you Second Amendment tears, okay? You Second Amendmentites, you know what I'm saying? They getting ready to label you as terrorists. You know, especially you Edomites, because that's your blessing and you hold fast to that, and that's what you believe in. Your carnal is all hell. So they use the Edomite to do it on top of that. All right. So if you catch my drift, so hold on.
If he had any weapons, and police say he was hesitant to answer. As police asked more questions, they say Krebs told them he had a loaded handgun under another layer of clothing. Police say they found a fully loaded gun, 3 magazines, and 6 loaded assault rifle magazines, a bayonet knife, capsium spray, a pocket knife, ski mask, and gloves on him. Sources say Krebs' SUV was parked 2 blocks away from the rally.
Pause,
and
bitch.
That's where they say an assault-style weapon was found, along with a helmet.
I don't want to pause. Not a shame trying to pause. Hold on.
Police also visited the East Whiteland home where...
Salaki, my bad. I'm trying to pause this shit. So hold on 1 second. Let me just find that video back. So wait a minute. So this dude had a loaded, you know, handgun. All right. Hidden under X amount of clothing, but somebody was able to spot it. They was able to spot a loaded handgun, and then notified the police. Which, like I said, there's states out there that having a concealed carry or even open carry is like riding a bike. So that right there is kind of suspect. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain places where you brothers and you few sisters live at where people, Edomite, Jake, whoever, heathens, walk around all over the place with, you know, either open carry or concealed carry or whatever. Concealed meaning, you know, hidden so you don't really see it, but it's not outside of the ordinary. You know, so this don't add up. And on top of that, it was hidden under so many clothing. And like I said, the end of the whole shit is what's even more crazy. All right. So the nigga had this Edomite had he had all of that, and on top of that, he had they said what, six or seven fully loaded AR magazines, but the nigga didn't have an AR on him. They said that they found the so-called AR blocks away, blocks away, which that don't make any sense.
Questions, they say Krebs told them he had a loaded handgun under another layer of clothing. Police say they found a fully loaded gun, 3 magazines, and 6 loaded assault rifle magazines, a bayonet knife, capsium spray, a pocket knife, ski mask, and gloves on him. Sources say Krebs' SUV was parked 2 blocks away from the rally, and that's where they say an assault-style weapon was found along with a helmet and other items. Sources say police also visited the East Whiteland home where Krebs lives. The district attorney's office Sunday confirmed the investigation but didn't name Krebs as the subject of the case. We asked for comment today. That request was unanswered. We also reached out to an attorney representing Krebs who told us he had no comment on behalf of his client. Krebs was arraigned early yesterday morning. He was able to post his $250,000 bail with the help of a bondsman. The DA's office says that the FBI has been assisting in this case. Reporting live in Westchester, Deanna Durante.
Now I got another video, a follow-up video to that, because they said that they searched this dude's home. Hold on, let me see if I can get that video real quick. All right, cool. So that same dude that was allegedly out there, like I said, this shit just sounds suspect. And yeah, you do have lunatics out there and bug outs and crazy ass mother effers out there that's just losing it. But at the same time, like, the media don't put nothing out there that they don't want to put out there for their agenda, their purpose, to project a certain image or just creating a so-called narrative or whatever. All right. So after all of that was said and done, this video right here, which is afterwards, it says pipe bomb found inside man's home after arrest at Westchester.
At the No Kings protest, a man is charged with bringing knives and guns to Saturday's rally in Westchester. An investigator.
And that's the media for you. He wasn't charged for bringing knives. You know what I'm saying? The charge clearly was that the dude had a concealed weapon fully loaded without a license to carry. That's when you read it, that's what it's saying. So this is just putting that, that attack on, the American citizen, so to speak. All right. You gotta, know the law and read in between the lines and hear how the media is portraying shit. All right. So this guy right here that they used as a subject, whether he's, fully bugged out Edomite or whatever, or this is just all set up to label you Americans, all right? I ain't gonna say you, because the average American probably won't ever even see this video. But for you brothers, and you sisters, keep your head on a swivel, because there's people out here that are fucking bugged out, losing their minds, lunatics. Whether they really about to enter into a situation where there's mass protests or mass gathering and really do let loose, whether they are under MK Ultra or just PSYOP type events taking place or whatever, or if Esau is just this whole situation, this man is just trying to eliminate certain freedoms, which, because we know for a fact, our so-called, I'm not going to even use the word weapon, but our defense, our Ephesians, the 6th chapter, is spiritual. And part of it is us teaching this word. All right, because we know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So us preaching this word is a two-edged sword for Esau, Edom. And they're going to try to ban our ability to exercise our rights in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which is to freely give this word out there. Freely, read the scriptures, understand the scriptures, break it down, and tie things together with current events and so on and so forth. Which that's going to bring in what? The famine of the word, or famine of hearing the word. So this man, Esau Edom, he's on an all-out assault on everybody on the shores of America. So don't be deceived. Let me just play this out and then I'm going to move on.
With weapons at the No Kings protest. protest. A man is charged with bringing knives and guns to Saturday's rally in Westchester. And investigators make a disturbing discovery inside the man's home. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington. On Saturday, demonstrators alerted officers of an armed man on High Street, and that man has been identified as Kevin Krebs. Police say he was carrying a gun, magazines of ammunition, and a knife. And that's not all he had. Here's CBS Philadelphia's Aziza Schuler.
Days after Westchester Borough Police arrested 31-year-old Kevin Krebs near the No Kings protest, where he was carrying a loaded handgun, magazines, knives, and pepper spray, Montgomery County Bomb Squad and FBI agents raided his home on Conestoga Road in Malvern and found a pipe bomb inside. Despite living in the neighborhood for 36 years, Rick Tavalchia said he did not know his neighbor.
I was very astounded by how much ammunition he had. And then to find out that he was right behind our home was very concerning.
This video from Saturday's No Kings rally shows High Street packed with people peacefully protesting President Donald Trump's policies.
Let's like it real quick. What is a pipe bomb? A pipe bomb is an improvised explosive device that uses a tightly sealed section of pipe filled with an explosive material. It says, the containment provided by the pipe means that simple low explosives can be used to produce a relatively large explosion due to the containment causing increased pressure. The fragmentation of the pipe itself creates potentially lethal shrapnel. And I'm reading this whole shit, man. It just sounds suspect, all right? Don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you see. Now, a motherfucker who could create a pipe bomb, all right, he thought out all the inventions and ways to create a pipe bomb, but the nigga didn't think it through when he went to this rally. He didn't think it through when he went there. That shit don't make any sense, all right? It don't make any sense, you know? So he's plotting against you, you average American Joe Schmo Edomites. He's plotting against you, you know? In other words, you know, a guy he's fully loaded, he got all these ammunition and shit. More than likely, let's search his home because he got to have a damn pipe bomb. All right. And it's opening a doorway for that, you know? So if you see, that's the thing about the average American. They think they got all these rights, they got all this freedom and all these rights and this and that and the third. But all that shit is getting ready to be stripping and taken away from you, man. You see, this dude got charged with something and suspicions to raid his home, and now his home, and they found a pipe bomb. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, this whole story just sounds suspect.
In Westchester.
All right.
Here's CBS Philadelphia's Aziza Schuler.
Days after Westchester Borough Police arrested 31 FBI agents raided his home on Conestoga Road in Malvern and found a pipe bomb inside. Despite living in the neighborhood for 36 years, Rick Tavalchia said he did not know his neighbor.
I was very astounded by how much ammunition he had. And then to find out that he was right behind our home was very concerning.
This video from Saturday's No Kings rally shows High Street packed with people peacefully protesting President Donald Trump's policies.
I would say a couple thousand. It was very packed, very packed. The sidewalks were like chest to chest.
In the midst of it all, someone in the large crowd told police they spotted a man hiding a handgun under a long yellow raincoat. When an officer approached him, police say Krebs admitted he was armed and did not have a concealed carry permit. He was arrested, but later released to his parents on a $250,000 bail.
See, like I said, his offense was hiding a handgun, but didn't have a permit or license to carry or whatever. You see? And then which led to them, the police or whatever, FBI, whoever, searching his home and allegedly finding a pipe bomb. So now this dude will be labeled a domestic terrorist. All right? So prepare to see a lot more of this shit. A lot more domestic terrorism. Matter of fact, as I opened up, you know, for those who was watching since I went live, this is from the Iranian state TV. It says that tonight, a great surprise will occur. Let me show you. All right, tonight, a great surprise will occur. It says, one that the world will remember for centuries. So let's see. That sound like that sounds terroristic to me, so-called. All right. Let's see what the hell they talking about. Let's see what's going on. That's why the title of this video is keep your head on a swivel. Let me get a precept real quick, and then I'm gonna get that terminology. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant. Vigilant means to watch. All right. Hold on real quick. Vigilant or vigilante. A vigilante. A vigilante is someone who exercises vigilance. A vigilante is someone who exercises the act of being vigilant. So a vigilante is someone who takes the law into their own hand. All right, acting as self-appointed enforcer of justice, often without legal authority. Which that's not the one I want. Don't be that. Don't take the law into your own hand. That's not the one I want to get. It says they may investigate, prevent, or punish, persevere offenses or crime, often when legal system. That's not the one I wanted. That's not the one I wanted. Let me get the etymology. Scratch that. Don't be that. Don't go out there taking matters into your own hand. Let me get the etymology. I brought this out before. I was doing a sit down with the elder bro Yaikwad, and the definition was spot on. So this is the etymology. Forget about that one I just read, because you do have those vigilantes that just like back in the day in New York, you had the guardian angels. They wore the red taupe, the red hat, and the red jackets and shit like that. They would be on a subway system, fighting crime. And if an old lady was getting mugged, you have a couple of them guardian angel men that would stand up and beat up the mugger and wait for the cops to come and get him. We ain't saying do that. So vigilante etymology, it says the term vigilante originates from the Spanish word vigilante, meaning watchman. The Spanish word in turns come from the Latin word vigilans, which means watchful or awake. It says the term gained prominence in the U.S. during the 1850s, particularly in context of vigilance committees formed to enforce law or order in absence of effective or official institution. All right, so you get the gist. A watchman. All right, somebody that's watching or watchful or awake. Be vigilant. All right. So let me see. The word vigilante is closely related to vigilant, which means watchful or an alert. And vigil, which refers to a period of watchful attention, especially during the night. Remember how Yahweh Shai used the parable of the night. All right. Even in Apostle Paul, he said, don't be. So can a brother put that up for me? Let us not sleep as do others, for they sleep in the night. Somebody put that up for me, Brother Kasha. All right, so we're vigilantes. And another thing about vigilantes is that they take action. So that's what I was, aiming towards in this definition. But you have the vigilante, they don't just watch, but they watch and they take action. That's my point. They watch and they take action. So we watch and we see what's going on. We got our head on a swivel, and we also take action, meaning we warn, we blow the trumpet. We just telling you, yo, watch your back. Yo, watch your back. You may be walking with, somebody, your friend, your brother, a brother, a sister, a woman, your wife, your kids, and you walking, you crossing the street, be like, watch yourself, watch yourself. Even though they watching, they see the cars coming, but you on that vigilante spirit, you're like, watch out, the car coming. Hold on. The light don't says walk yet. You know what I'm saying? That's just being in that vigilante spirit. Even though you're telling people that are pretty much already watching. Okay. Let me see. The next one I had was keep your head on a swivel. Let me get that definition or meaning. It says keep your head on a swivel keep your head on a swivel means to be alert and aware of your surroundings, meaning being a vigilante or vigilant. Being cautious and vigilant. So keeping your head on a swivel means to be alert and aware and of your surroundings, being cautious and vigilant. That's what it means to keep your head on a swivel. It's an idiom that encourages you to constantly watch for potential dangers or unexpected events. So potential dangers could be, yeah, you actually don't put yourself in that situation where you surrounded by large crowds, because 9 out of 10 times, there's gonna be a bug out in the midst of that large crowd, just like that them rallies. You had that one dude he was loaded, fully loaded, and let's say it's not a psyop, and he was just doing this shit on his own intentions. He got caught before anything could have got bad. All right, if you want to, playing devil's advocate or something, whatever, but don't put yourself in that situation. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't stay far the hell away from where the masses of people are. Use your discretion. We in a time of World War III. So what's going to happen before World War III is full blown? There's going to be chaos here in the shores of America. All right. There's going to be all hell breaking loose in the shores of America. So now we are in a point in time where Esau Edom is going to have to do something to escalate this, I'm going to say the mass implementation MOTB, or better yet, his New World Order. We're in a situation where he's going to have to move faster with his New World Order. The scriptures say in, Jeremiah 50 and 45, I believe, 40, let me see. and 45, where it says about the least of the flock shall draw them out. So the least of the flock is talking about them small hats, the so-called, Israel lies, all right? Them guys. The least of the flock is drawing them out. And I was reading somebody in the comments said that if it wasn't for the for the internet, smartphones, technology, blah, 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 then the small hats would have painted the picture that Iran attacked them first. If we didn't have access to see what we're seeing and hear what we're hearing without the propaganda, then yes, I believe that the small hats would have said that they got attacked first. But it's clear and evident that they initiated the assault. So now what's happening is retaliation. And I said I was watching this dude, Canadian Prepper. He was going into how Trump, he's going to give a speech tonight regarding the situation. And guess what? The U.S. is going to enter into this thing. But it's not going to be full-blown, all-out war, World War III. It's not, at least not yet. All right? That's why I pay attention to what's happening here in the shores of America. Be vigilant. Keep your head on a swivel. All right? Watch out for these little bullshit that Esau Edom is doing. And you can watch out, but ain't nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do about it is continue preparing yourself. That's all you can do. We can't do nothing about that bozo that had the pipe bomb. Fuck him. To hell with these people. They gonna lose their mind. They gonna bug out. They gonna go crazy. They're already victims to and casualties of this New World Order. Our job is to stay vigilant and watch and prepare for Yahweh Shah's return. All right, as far as the elect is concerned. Everybody else, they're gonna be taken out in this disaster that's getting ready to come. So again, it says, think of it like someone whose head is on a swivel, able to quickly turn and look in different directions to observe everything around them. So you got to be quick, fast, shrewd, and don't be slow. All right, stop being slow in this society and all delayed, man. I'm talking about like that slow ass mentality. Pick up the fucking pace, man. Pick up the pace. Catch on. You know what I'm saying? Because here it is, the brothers from the apostles on down, the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai has been prepared for these events, and brothers are gonna be moving fast. If you're trying to get along and get right and move along with the program, then you better fucking catch up and stop dragging your damn knuckles and shit. You know what I mean? Knuckle dragging and all that. You gotta be quick, fast, bro. And brothers be in a mindset that we're not gonna be just picking up straddlers and just trying to now is the time for a sit down where we can dedicate an hour or 2 hours or 30 minutes or whatever for a sit down, because when shit start hitting the fan, we're not going to be having one-on-one VIP sit downs with you personally. At that time, you better catch on quick. You better catch on quick, and you better start catching on quick now. So let me go back to 1 Peter 5. I'm gonna play this video. I think I got another precept after that. See what brothers is putting up. No, my battery life wasn't too good. Nah, it's at 10%. Yeah, I gotta make this quick. I ain't charged that phone. So again, 1 Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So we ought to be sober, be vigilant, and vigilant, again, vigilante, watching, because Esau, Edom, all right, Satan, the adversary as a roaring lion, he's going about seeking whom he may devour. And we don't want to be devoured in the midst of all of this chaos. So stay on point. All right. Let me see if I can find this video. I'm going to play it. Step off for a quick second. Let me see this. All right. This is it right here. It says, alert, in hours, U.S. will enter war. Let me play that. Let me know you can hear that. Just give me a thumbs up before I step off.
You run a beauty or wellness business. Your clients depend on you, but the challenges never stop. No shows, running out of stock, balancing clients and admin and marketing and staff and rent.
Hold on. That was an ad.
This is your World War III breaking news.
All right, so y'all can hear that?
Doing an exclusive here on the Canadian Prepper channel because
cool.
It's very
Right
imperative that I get this message out to my followers who may not have migrated over to the Prepper News channel where we've been doing these updates. Now, I am uploading this video at 3:21 Mountain Time, and it's expected that Trump is going to be giving an address soon that I am 99% confident that he is going to openly declare war on Iran, likely in a more euphemistic language, which will be more palatable to the masses. But nonetheless, everything is set. The table's about to get flipped in the Middle East. Now, the question is, what's going to happen? I suspect that as soon as this war breaks out, we are going to see military bases across the Middle East targeted by the Iranians. We are going to see closures of the Strait of Hormuz. Unless the United States can do a swift decapitation, toppling of the regime, which Russia and the Chinese would be foolish to permit, I should add, because that is Russia's southern flank. The last thing you want to do is give NATO access to the Caspian Sea. Ostensibly, that would be existential for the Russians. So I don't think that could happen. So this war will be determined, I believe, in the first 72 hours. If the Ayatollah and his underlings can hang in there for the first period of this conflict, and it turns into a long-winded attritional quagmire, that is likely the only hope. But here is what the Iranians could potentially do. The Iranians are saying, and I'm quoting Iranian state television, and this is huge, they're warning of a major surprise that the world will remember for centuries. Now, are they just using hyperbole here as a psychological operation, or are they genuinely serious? The only thing I could imagine that the world will remember for centuries is something so profoundly impactful, like a demonstrative nuclear strike or a nuclear test of some sort. It would have to be a nuclear test. That's the only thing I think that the world would remember for centuries, the day that Iran got the bomb. That is the only thing that they could possibly do. And even if they do this, would it be too late? Would it just beget an even greater response?
All right, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. So he said what I read earlier, that Iranian state TV says that tonight a great surprise will occur, one that the world will remember for centuries. And this is why I mentioned, I brought out the scriptures about being circumspect, keep your head on a swivel. Now, whatever this event could be, they say centuries, which a century is 100 years. I mean, that's exaggerating because these heathens don't have no 100 years. You know, the only thing that the world is going to remember for centuries, or I'm going to say eternity, is going to be the destruction of America. So all of this shit right here is whatever. But I won't be surprised if, you know, them centuries be reduced to decades, or decades to years or whatever. before the kingdom is transitioning. In other words, before this kingdom go down and we in Yahweh Shai's kingdom, the Most High's kingdom, our kingdom. Now, this sounds like a threat. This sounds like, there could be a possible terrorist attack on the shores of America, because remember all them sleeper cells that came here, crossed the borders. So all of a sudden, they only talking about they only talking about Mexicans. They only talking about the Latin tribes, Venezuelans and Mexicans. What about them Indians, Pakistanians, Africans, Chinese, Koreans? What about all the nations that came over here before Trump came into office? What about all of them? What about all these guys? What about all them sleeper cells that may possibly be, under the guise of coming here to, better themselves and their living and blah, blah, blah. But they actually sleeper cells that they're going to activate once they get that green light to do some crazy wild shit. That's what I'm saying. That's why from the apostles on down, been saying, be alert, be alert. I'm not saying, they said it. Iranian state TV says tonight a great surprise will occur, one that the world will remember for centuries. Remember, 9/11, September 11, 2021. The world still remembers that. And that was over 2 decades ago. You know what I'm saying? That's not forgotten. That's not gone. The world still remember that. And I know, especially from Apostle Gabar, always going to how, I forget exactly how he phrased it. I know I always land back off of it from time to time, but the next T attack is going to make, September 11th look like a damn walk in the park. A walk in the park. We are in that time. If we are getting closer to World War III, then you better believe something drastic is going to happen here on the shores of America before World War III is established. Trust and believe that. So I just rewinded it about 30 seconds ago. I stepped off for a minute. Had to do something. Let me play it again.
Test. That's the only thing I think that the world would remember. Only thing I could imagine that the world will remember. And it turns into a long-winded attritional quagmire that is likely the only hope. But here is what the Iranians could potentially do.
It's buffering. It's pouring like crazy out here. Hold on 1 second.
This conflict, and it turns into a long-winded attritional quagmire that is likely the only hope. But here is what the Iranians could potentially do.
All right, it's buffering. Now I want to buffer. Now the shit want to buffer. All right, I ain't gonna make this too drawn out and long. This phone that's recording is like on 8%. This one is on 15%. So y'all heard it. Y'all heard what he said. Let me try to breeze through this and make it quick. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 14. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahweh Shai shall give thee light, which is talking about the elect. All right, you brothers out there, you few sincere sisters, all right, the 1/3, the men, children, women, the Lord's chosen that's going to make it up out of here via them ships, all right, via them chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the vehicle of our salvation, the modern day ark. All right, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahweh Shai shall give thee light. This light is his knowledge, and we have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to allow us to navigate through these dark times. While people are bugging out and all they watching and panicking and growing fears of anxiety and just tripping and bugging and wilding the hell out, we good. We are cheering this thing on. We are embracing what's about to happen. All right, we are embracing the time of Jacob's trouble. We are embracing the time of the implementation of the MOTB. Now you got the IUIC, man. That's a whole nother video for another time and another topic. These guys is talking about if you took the COVID shot, then the C19 shot, then you're gonna fail the test, bro. I'm gonna say this, man. Well, let me finish my statement first, because this shit just it it'd be annoying as fuck. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, but that whole back and forth and changing like the wind, that shit is annoying. The Most High don't even like that. All right, the scripture says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. We don't fuck with double-minded individuals. If you double-minded, leave us the hell alone. The Most High don't mess with you. Double-minded. 1 minute you saying this, next minute you saying that. So anyway, the one dude talking about from the IUIC talking about, if anybody got the C19 shot, then you failed the test. But when Nate said that you got to do what you got to do, if you don't want to take the C19 shot, then find another profession. This nigga did not say, don't take it. We told you at GMS, don't take it. And all of our fucking videos are going on top of that. All of our videos of us telling you not to take the shit is gone. But all the videos with these guys are still there. So that's why for you individuals out there that straddling the fence, lukewarm ass motherfuckers, you gonna be stuck on stupid when that time comes. Because all of our videos is going when it comes down to that specific topic. Brothers lost pages and all types of shit. But it's all right though, because that's the Heavenly Father's will at the end of the day. So dude said, if you took it, you failed the test. And then he goes on to say that what you gonna do when they bring out the MOTB, the Mark of the Beast. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought these people taught that the Mark of the Beast was sin. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Plugging in this charger real quick. All right. I know the audio ain't the same, but just, I don't give a fuck. You can still hear me, right? Let me know y'all still hear me loud and clear. Let me know y'all still hear me loud and clear. All right, cool. Loud and clear. All right, cool. All right, because this show's on 4%. And I wasn't trying to end it just yet. So anyway, what was I saying, man? What was I saying, bro? So yeah. So dude said, because remember, they teach that the Mark of the Beast is sin. So now, homeboy said, matter of fact, hold on, man. Hold on. I got to keep my eye on the camera because I know it's about to die. I shared this in the community section. This was put up by the elder bro Karataza out there in Vegas camp. All right, hold on 1 second. Like I said, I ain't putting nothing together. Just going with the spirit, going with the flow, spiritual flow. Abaratazai. So
some of y'all will.
Yeah, I know this guy.
Say this. Some of y'all will consent to that forced religion.
So just listen. I'm gonna put the phone right here. I want to make sure y'all hear this, because I ain't, playing this for me to hear.
Some of y'all will, or to say this. Some of y'all will consent to that forced religion. You understand? Some of y'all will consent it. How I know that? How I know some of y'all? Ask me how I know that. How you know that, D? How you know that, D? Okay. I'm going to tell y'all how I know that. Hands in the air.
God.
Everyone that took the COVID-19. Okay. All right. Brothers, y'all don't be scared. Yo, listen. I'm going to show you all why we got to become stronger. Right? Now, the COVID-19, we told you all know that shot could get you killed, right?
No, you didn't.
But we let you all know if you all go do that, that's on your own. But we let you all know, listen, not to do that. You can get,
Hold on, I'm gonna play this video out, man, because these guys are hypocrites, bro. I don't want to hold the phone in my hand for fucking 5 minutes, 7 minutes. So let me just put it on this stand real quick. This little tripod thing I got. So hold on. Hypocrites, bro. Hypocrites.
Some of you all will will, how to say this? Some of y'all will consent to that forced religion. You understand? Some of y'all will consent it. How I know that? How I know some of y'all? Ask me how I know that. How you know that, Deke? Some of y'all will, how to say this? Some of y'all will consent to that forced religion. You understand? Some of y'all will consent it. How I know that? How I know some of y'all? Ask me how I know that. How you know that, Deke? I know that, Deke. Okay. I'm going to tell you all how I know that.
Listen up.
Hands in the air, everyone that took the COVID-19. Okay. All right. Brothers, y'all don't be scared. Yo, listen. I'm going to show you all why we got to become stronger. Right? Now, the COVID-19, we told you all know that shot could get you killed, right? But we let you all know if you all go do that, that's on your own. But we let you all know, listen, not to do that. You can get, you know, that thing could kill you.
To still have to work during the Passover in these troubling times, especially nurses, because they are often left out when people speak about first responders. You're absolutely right. Now, I do want to talk about occupations. There's certain occupations where, if I'm not mistaken, you have to get vaccine on certain things. I know the military, 100%. If you don't want to get any type of vaccine, you are kicked out of the military. And I believe in the medical profession as well, because why? You're around sick people all day. So I'm saying, I remember a sister was calling.
Listen up.
She's a nurse.
This is a liar.
And she didn't want to get a vaccine. If there's hey, we get vaccine. We go traveling. We had to get the yellow fever shot and some other things. Get the vaccine.
Hey, we don't get vaccinated at GMS, all right? You hear this guy? He's making light of the whole situation. At this point, this was like either 2020 or 2021. While this shit was severe, people were fucking shaking in their boots for answers and nervous and anxiety just shooting through the roof. And this guy over here, yeah, we get vaccinated because we travel. No, we don't. We over here, we don't get vaccinated, bro. All right? And I don't know how long this video gonna last, because I know I'm saying what I'm saying, but who gives a fuck? If whoever sees it, sees it. All right? Because this hypocrisy shit, the Most High is gonna put it to an end. All right? Yeah, like the bro said, Nate has blood on his hands. And then the sad thing about it is, like, the dude in the beginning was like, who here took the COVID shot? Who took the COVID shot here? And there was guys that raised their hand. And probably women that raised their hand. That's why his response was like, oh boy. Yo, you can't make this shit up, bro. But the thing is, man, before I let that play on, I want to get a precept, man. And this precept is going to take us of the hopeful elect through the tumultuous times ahead. This is going to take us through these events of chaos and perils. Revelation 3 and I'm sorry, is it Revelation 2? Oh, hold on. Two and 10 is what I want, but hold on. I'm gonna read the third chapter first and 10. This is Revelation 3 and 10, because, all right, and this is key. This is key. So don't take this lightly, man. This is key, because you could be a scoffer, a mocker, a whole ass nigga your entire existence and time throughout this ministry and truth, right? You could be part of the IUIC and this, you know, part of the smear campaign, dissing GMS or them grapists and blah blah blah, and these bum camps and these conspiracy nuts and every bad thing you could possibly say. But then when you start seeing this particular prophecy actually come to pass, And the reason why I'm talking about this is because, yeah, World War III is a major topic right about now. But you know what? World War III ain't gonna pop off until Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 come to pass. That's point blank, period. It's not gonna happen. All right? It's just not gonna happen. So we gotta let you know that this is what's gonna take place before World War III pop off. Whether Esau try to crash the economy, collapse the society, whatever, create a terrorist attack, blah, 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 whatever, however, and introduce this thing, it doesn't matter how he does it. The point is that he's gonna do it. I don't care which street you take, which road you go down, which boulevard and avenue you turn down. The point is to get to that one exact location. All right. So listen, the directions don't matter. Just fucking get there. That's the point. They're gonna get there. So Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right. And who was the Lord talking to in this particular chapter in church? The church in Philadelphia. Brotherly love. What greater love than this, that a man lay down his life for his brother? Here it is, the men of GMS have been sacrificing from the apostles on down. I was just watching the elder apostle. Everybody was live today. Elder Apostle Gabar and the Bishop Sakaran. Elder Bishop was going live earlier. Then Elder Apostle Ramlab, Elder Apostle Rakad was live not too long ago. Apostle Rakad was speaking, just getting on niggas because, these men been in this thing for over 30 years. 40 years, Apostle plus. We tired of, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to say we. I'm not even going to lump myself in that category, but them men is tired of these motherfuckers, bro. They done seen it all. And you can hear it in their voice. You can see it in their countenance. It's tired of this fucking thing. And so are we. All right? As disciples and understudies and students of these men of Yahweh Shemiah Shah, we fucking tired too. That's why you hear it when I speak. How tired I am of these motherfucking niggas. How tired everybody tired of fucking Esau. I'm tired of Esau too. Tired of these nations too. But the ones that we around, we're tired of these motherfuckers. Tired, man. And the Lord is speeding things up for the elect's sake because we about ready to get the hell up out of here. We about to get up out of here. So because thou hast kept the word of my patience means to suffer. That's why I brought that out and I said what I said, and I'm emphasizing from the apostles on down. Patience means to suffer. And men have been suffering in this thing and enduring the suffering. Not just suffering and tapping out, but enduring the sufferings. So because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Once upon a time, they said, the IUIC said that the hour of temptation is just talking about World War III. It's talking about, he said, what other scriptures talk about 1 hour? What is it? Revelation 18, in 1 hour shall that great city Babylon come to nothing. But before that Babylon city come to nothing, there's going to be a time of testing on this planet Earth, the final test. Because if it was that easy, a lot of crooked ass niggas will make it up into the ships. So the Lord got to do the final differentiation between who's truly his and who's not his. All right. So for you that are just, dilly-dallying, walking through the valley, just itching ears and listening to this can't, that can't, this can't, that can't, if that's your spirit, then don't fucking watch GMS videos. If you still itching ears and shit, don't watch our videos. All right. Because you don't know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? You think this is entertainment. You watching brothers' videos for pure entertainment just because you may see a black woman on the screen with a captivating title. Oh, let me watch this. Or you may see some shit that catch your attention, motherfucker. You better get out that spirit and start learning for yourself, studying, reading, and really grasping, reality. Because this shit about to get ugly. So the Lord said, I'm going to keep you. I will keep thee from the hour of temptation because you kept the word of my patience, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So just because you jump on board, because now you've seen the prophecies happening, and now you're dictator leader, all right, and you a damn zombie. Now he tells you, and like who said it, man? It was the elder bro Yashawamba had said it in the comment section of this video. He was like, they making a way or opening up a way for them to say that they always been saying that the mark of the beast was the chip. But you know what? When the MOTB is made mandatory and it's actually out here, which the mark of the beast is the RFID radio frequency identification chip, is not sin. It's a sin to get it, but it's not sin. Like they teach, the mark of the beast is sin. All right, King Solomon had the mark of the beast because he sent the image of the mark of the beast and the image of the beast and everything is a picture of Caesar Borgia. These guys are all over the damn place, and I'm Spirit got me emphasizing on this because before World War III fully break out in the Middle East, this chip is going to be made mandatory. Revelation 12:12. The devil's going to come down with great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So this society could collapse at any moment. They talking about gas prices skyrocketing right about now. That's what they talking about right now because I was watching the Strait of Hormuz or something like that. The trade strait between Iran and Russia, how they share it, and if Esau attack that and get all involved, Russia got to get involved. This is Ezekiel 38 about to go down, but before that go down, the mark of the beast must be made mandatory. I was talking about gas prices. Gas prices skyrocketing. When gas prices is $7 per gallon for regular, you know what the fuck? You think people it's gonna be business as usual? Shit gonna get chaotic. People gonna own nothing and be happy. They gonna be broke as shit. You know? At that point, man, things are gonna get real chaotic. $10 per gas. Now you're just working to go to work. Now you're just working to go to work if you gotta buy gas. Guess what? Bus fares are gonna go up. Train fares are gonna go up. Cab fare, taxi fare, Uber fare, all that shit gonna go up. Cause everything truck prices, imports are gonna go up. Everything is gonna go up. Alright, hold on. The screen went out. Everything about to go up. So let me play this on, man. So anyway, my point is, man, because you, sincere members of the elect, kept the word of the Lord's patience, his suffering, and you held fast to the doctrine from now and here on out to the beginning, the Lord is going to keep you from the hour of temptation, which the hour of temptation was when the mark of the beast is made mandatory. He's going to keep you. He's going to preserve you from that. So all these individuals that's been half-stepping since the beginning, you think you're just going to just hop on board when the fucking curtains close? No, the hell you're not. You weren't with me in the gym. You know, you wasn't with us, when shit was grimy and gutter and the persecution. Where the fuck was you at? And the Lord, we know the Lord's gonna have mercy upon whom he will have mercy, but us, that's why we not the Lord. That's why we not Yahweh Shah, because his mercy and man's mercy is not the same. But blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Now, if you have true, sincere members that do repent, then that's that. The Lord is going to make it known who's who, and he's going to have mercy on them. But for the majority, the blind leaders are the blind.
If you don't want to leave certain professions, just leave. If there's we get vaccine. We go traveling.
See, they said they get vaccines. We don't.
We get the vaccine if you have to. If you don't want to leave certain professions, just leave certain professions, all right? So that was his first paragraph.
You understand? So the government made laws, right? The government said, force its population to go get vaccinated. Otherwise, you can't work. You can't go into certain stores. You cannot go to the doctor. You can't go to the dentist. You can lose your job. And you can end up losing, and then you lose your job, you end up losing what? Your house. You can't make money, you can't buy or sell. Right? We got a sister, she was going to college. They tell her, listen, you can't come to the college no more unless you show you have been vaccinated. So the sister went and she got vaccinated. I told the brother that was calling her, I said, yo, that was a test. How far would you go, brothers and sisters? Because brothers and sisters that try to hold on to their job. Do you know some people say they rather lose their job than to get that vaccination?
Duh.
It's similar. That was forced vaccination.
Johnny come lately
And
ass.
those of you all that don't want to lose your house, you got your college and you want to have that, you got the American dream and so forth, and you went and you got that vaccination. If they bring the mark of the beast right now, some of you all might take it and say God will understand.
Wait a minute. Whoa. So what the fuck is the mark of the beast then? Do y'all hear this shit? The IUIC do not teach that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. So what the hell does he mean if they bring the mark of the beast? Y'all heard that? They teach that the mark of the beast is sin. They teach us an embargo. All right? Embargo is a country thing. It's a thing. There was one saying that the mark of the beast is not about the small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. It's not talking about citizens. But now he's talking about his actual citizens as in people that are in his fucking class right now. They're people. They're regular people. They're citizens. They're people. At one point they said that it don't apply to people like you and I, but it applies to countries. Yo, the elder bro Yashawamba uploaded a video, a compilation video, and I downloaded it and I uploaded it to one of my other page. It's on private, but I'm saving that motherfucker because we got the receipts. All right, we got the receipts, and this shit, we hate lies. The Most High hates a lying tongue. All right, this is straight lies. Dude said if they was to bring the mark of the beast now. So wait a minute, what is the mark of the beast now? Is it sin? Is it a picture of Caesar Borgia? Because according to my knowledge, these things already exist. We've been sinning for centuries. We've been going off. That's why Yahweh Shai came. So what is it? Hold on, man. I want to go to the comment section of this video real quick. Right, so like the elder bro said, they're putting themselves in position to say they taught about the chip. So that's Yashawamba, elder bro Yashawamba, remnant say 144. They putting themselves in a position to say they've been talking about it. Because now these niggas see that it's happening. Right? Now they see that it's happening. Yeah, that's right, bro. It's June. It's June. Ain't no microchip. It's June. I don't got a singing voice. You know, fuck my singing voice, but what's up? You know, they putting themselves in a position to say that they always been teaching you. Okay. Now they switching it up, bro. Apostle Ramla, he been saying that. Apostle Ramla been saying that, bro. I mean, everybody been saying that, but the Apostle Ramla, he definitely always been saying he's just waiting to see how they gonna switch it up. He's waiting to see how they gonna tap dance and I forget exactly how he phrased it, but yeah. I say unbelievable. That was my comment, unbelievable. And I also said, he said, if they bring the mark of the beast, wait, I thought the MOTB was sin. If they bring sin right now, so if the mark of the beast is sin to them, then that's him saying, if there was to bring sin right now, then what would you guys do? Because they say the mark of the beast is sin. Not a sin, but sin. These niggas, boy. That gray area shit, I ain't with all that. So listen, man. Just listen. I'm gonna get ready to end it. I want to get some comments, precepts off the comment board. Make sure my battery ain't done. All right, I'm out.
Forced to still have to work during the Passover in these troubling times, especially nurses, because they are often left out when people speak about first responders. You're absolutely right. Now, I do want to talk about occupations. There's certain occupations where, if I'm not mistaken, you have to get vaccine on certain things. I know the military, 100%. If you don't want to get any type of vaccine, you are kicked out of the military. And I believe in the medical profession as well, because why? You're around sick people all day. So I'm saying, I remember a sister was...
Yeah, that's right, bro. GMS, Gully Heritage, he watches GMS, but won't admit it. That's right, bro. Hold on one second. switching over to my other page, to my main page. Yeah, he watches GMS but won't admit. That's a fact, bro. That is the absolute fact. All right. Oh, that's beautiful, bro. I was reading that the other day in the NLT, Spiritual Arc 144K. Because it's talking about a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read 144,000 fishing, James 1 and 8 in the KJV. It says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And Tawada, bro. And Spiritual Arc 144K put up their loyalty. This is James 1 and 8 in the NLT. It says their loyalty is divided. I was just reading this the other day. Actually, when I watched this video too. So it says their loyalty is divided between God and the world. Matter of fact, it's so funny because like the bro Goodly Heritage say, Slagger, bro, I don't know your Hebrew name, man, but I watch your videos, be having some heavy dreams and all that, man. But like the bro said, he watches GMS but won't admit it. Just like the other day, he did a video and he was like, he referenced the NLT, but he said, yeah, you know, let's go to the New Living Translation. You know, translation. You know why? I think it was Apostle Hall that said it. Why he didn't just say NLT? Because he would have sounded like GMS. So he had to say the whole thing out. The New Living Translation. Bro, they wasn't going into the blue letter, the Hebrew, all the translations until the apostles started doing it. So you damn right they watch GMS, bro. 100%. And they learn. They learn from GMS. But, you know, it is what it is, man. So anyway, their loyalty is divided between God and the world. And they're unstable in everything they do. And that's being lukewarm. The Lord said, because you are lukewarm, I'm going to spew you out of my mouth. All right? They're lukewarm. The Lord's going to spew them out of his mouth, man. You know, just like you drink something you drink spoiled milk. You know, you ain't swallowing that motherfucker. You all over the damn place, man. You know? Lukewarm, nasty, disgusting. So let me play the rest of this.
Calling and crying. She's a nurse and she didn't want to get a vaccine. If there's we get vaccine. We go traveling. We had to get the yellow fever shot and some other things. Get the vaccine if you have to. If you don't want to, then leave certain professions. Just leave certain professions, all right? So that was his first paragraph.
And when I said the mark of the beast, I'm talking about force worship. You understand? Force worship. Where they set it up where you cannot buy certain things. You can't buy a house.
See? He tap dancing, man. What he said, he had to clarify. When I say the mark of the beast, I'm talking about force worship. He had to clarify, but he's still gray. He tried to clarify, but he's still gray because the enlightened listener would think, damn, well, that sounds like the chip. Well, then now he's saying force worship to throw your ass back in a gray area. Forced worship can mean any fucking thing. What is forced worship? What is forced worship? We know what it is. You know, now if you're comparing it to the juice, then that is the forced worship where he pushes your back against the wall. All right? Where he pushes your back against the wall and causeth you to receive this thing. All right? And it's not sin. It's not a picture of Caesar. It's not an embargo. Okay? It's an actual device. So, hey, listen, for you sincere elect members, this is for you. If any IUIC members got itching ears and they straddling the fence and they don't know what to do, listen, man, if you can't watch from the apostles on down, the elder bishops on down, elder brothers on down, and actually receive the spirit and meekness and sincerity, then I don't know what to tell your ass, man. Ignorance is bliss, then be going.
But man, I've been working so hard to try to get a house. But listen, if you do not follow this system, you can't get that house. You understand? So some of you all, hey, remember what Christ said, you got to be willing to lose everything. You know, so some of you, so you brothers and sisters that fall for that test run, it means you got to strengthen yourself.
forced to still have to work during the Passover in these troubling times, especially nurses, because they are often left out when people speak about first responders.
I got a precept real quick. This is the book of 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 7. It says, and even things, matter of fact, I could start up a verse. Verse 6. Now, brethren, if I come unto you speaking with tongues, what shall I profit you? Except I shall speak to you either by revelation or by knowledge, or by prophesying or by doctrine. And even things without life-giving sound, whether piped or harped, except they give a distinction in the sound, how shall it be known what is piped or harped? So this truth, this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, these prophecies need a distinction in sound. What is the word distinction? Distinction. All right, distinction. Distinction definition. Distinction means a difference, a contrast. Difference, a contrast, meaning there's no in-betweens. It says separation, all right, a gap, all right, a division, a divergence, a variance. So you need a separation. You need a there's no gray areas, all right? There's no gray areas in prophecy. There's none of that. So again, even verse 7, and even things without life giving sound, whether piped or harp, except they give a distinction, a separation in the sound, how shall it be known what is piped or harp? So what are you prophesying? What are you teaching? Are you prophesying truth or are you prophesying lies? Which one is it? Because right now, yeah, I'm 1,000% sure your congregation is confused as all hell. All right, but because they zombies, they're not gonna question it. They're just gonna say, okay, well, all right, I'm gonna make what he said make sense. I'm gonna make it make sense. Even though it don't make sense, they're gonna rationalize within themselves to make it make sense because they're zombies, and that's why the apostle Paul been saying they zombies. And now I see why they fucking call zombies. Brainless, mindless. Okay? Verse 8, for if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? So if the trumpet is given an uncertain sound, because now the sound you giving is gray areas. It's like, wait a minute, it sounds like he's talking about the mark, but now it sounds like he's talking about the same doctrine that they've been teaching. The mark of the beast is sin. It's this, is that. It's nothing tangible. Which one is it? So how the fuck do you prepare yourself for the battle if you don't know that the battle is coming? How the hell do you prepare yourself for the battle if you don't know that we at war? How do you know? Like, here it is, we in a society where Esau is about to make things digital, and now he started talking about that too. Right? But Nate didn't do a video saying he sounded like a conspiracy nut. But when we said the same thing, this whatever tribe he come from, Benjamin or Levi or whatever, you know what I'm saying? With his accent, you know, I don't give a fuck what it is either. But whatever. However, Nate didn't do a video saying that he sounded like a conspiracy nut. A lot of hypocrisy amongst them, bro. And I say it the way I said it because these are the same guys that don't acknowledge Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. So why do I have to acknowledge you? If you don't acknowledge the powers that be, the true powers, Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, our only begotten, our Father and His only begotten Son, why the fuck we gotta acknowledge you? You out your damn mind if you think we acknowledge you on any type of reverence.
You're absolutely right. Now, I do want to talk about occupations. There's certain occupations where, if I'm not mistaken, you have to get vaccine on certain things. I know the military, 100%. If you don't want to get any type of vaccine, you are kicked out of the military. And I believe in the medical profession as well, because why? You're around sick people all day. So I'm saying, I remember a sister was calling and crying. She's a nurse and she didn't want to get a vaccine. If there's hey, we get vaccine. We go traveling. We had to get the yellow fever shot and some other things. Get the vaccine if you have to. If you don't want to, then leave certain professions. Just leave certain professions, all right? So that was his first paragraph.
And the brother put up some precepts. Matter of fact, I'm going to read it. That was the end of the video, but let me read the precepts he put up. Job 15:6. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Thine own lips testify against thee. You know, where he said one thing and he says the next. Double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Sirach 1 and 29. Be not a hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. Hypocrisy at its finest. Dude said, if you said a sister called crying. Pastor always make reference to that. A sister called crying because she had to take the vaccine, and he's like, well, we get the vaccine. You know, what kind of comforting is that, bro? Showing that these people ain't in the right spirit, man. You know, because you think it's gonna be that easy to try to flip flop when the MOTB is made mandatory and act like you've been teaching about it. Guess what? The Most High is gonna test each and every last one of your motherfucking integrities, man. And if the Lord ain't dealing with you and your spirit ain't, right at that time, then I don't give a shit how much you try to fake the funk. The Lord is gonna be like, nah, nope, my spirit ain't gonna be with this guy. He gonna flip flop and squat, all right, bend and fold to the MOTB system, all right, to the mark of the beast, to the chip. You know? So ain't gonna be none of that. Ain't gonna be none of that. Okay, Proverbs 24 and 21. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. You hear that? If you got any hard-headed ass IUIC members that are listening, I call you a hard-headed ass motherfucker right by now, all right? If you listening, you part of IUIC, and you still dibbling and dabbling, because the prophets cursed your ass out. All right? They cursed you out. You got cursed out. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, you got cursed out. They ain't try to say, listen, come all gentle with your ass. You know what I'm saying? Jake need a cursing out. Because the times we living in, it ain't gonna be pleasant. And if you offended at a damn curse out, then you ain't gonna make it when Esau getting ready to fucking send that sword here in Babylon. So the message is, meddle not with them that are given to change. One minute they say this, next minute they say that. Nate once upon a time said that we were going to enter into the kingdom only by the deliverance of the how do you say it when he had the interview with the Benjamite Ian Boyne out there in Jamaica? He said that there wasn't going to be a time of Jacob's trouble, that we were literally going to la-di-da, all right, into the kingdom. It was going to be World War III, the nuclear missiles exploding and shooting up Babylon, and that's it. He said, la-di-da, we're going to enter into the kingdom. Meaning we were not going to go through a time of Jacob's trouble. But now it's sounding a lot different. So for you that got a brain on your head, other than something than a hat rack, like the apostle always say, meddle not with them that are given to change. All right? And like that one video I had put up like a month ago or something, that one Israelite woman that left the IUIC talking about she was scared, and most people were scared because the IUIC they slander you and have a smear campaign if you leave, when you leave, or whatever. Fuck that. Have a motherfucker talk all types of shit about you. If you gotta leave, leave. Matthew 7 and 15. Beware of false prophets. These are the precepts of the brothers putting up in the post-production. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. They got on the appearance of sheep, but they wolves. 1 John 4 and 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they are of God, because many false prophets are going into the world. And Nate is one of the top false prophets under the sun right by now. All right, whatever the Lord had, what He's gonna do with him, that's that. That's that. We will see. All right, we shall see how that play out. We know blind leaders of the blind, both are gonna fall into that ditch. All right. You see this video. Oh.
I disagree. I think you do look fit, and I can tell.
It's like you. All right, I'm gonna go over to the comment board, get ready to end this real soon. Hold on 1 second. Let me just set myself up. Again, keep your head on the swivel, man. A lot of shit is happening in these times, and the Lord is the one doing it. Yahweh Shemel Shai is indeed the one that's doing all of this. All right, let's see what I got going on right here. And of course, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Brakatham to the Lord's elect. Shalom to you. All right. And to you few sincere sisters, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Brakatham. Shalom. First Thessalonians 5:1, put up by Yahweh. It says, "But of the times and season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. But when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief." Now, I believe I quoted that earlier. Brother pulled it up, took the water, you know what I'm saying? So when they say peace and safety, everything's gonna be all good. They thought it was gonna be peace and safety when Trump came into office, but now it ain't looking so peaceful and safety. Now it's looking like sudden destruction. And that's where we at. That's where we are at. All right. It was all peace and safety. Yeah, Trump is gonna restore America, blah blah blah, make America great again. Da da da. Yeah, okay. We told y'all dumb suckers, you know, that all hell was getting ready to break loose. And we at the doors, we at the entrance of chaos. The entrance of chaos awaits. All right. I'm Nawala H Town. You also put up metal not with them that are given the change, which is Proverbs 24 and 21. But you put up verse 22 also, which I'm gonna read that. It says, "For their calamity shall rise suddenly." Let me read it from the top. My son, verse 21, Proverbs 24:21. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both? Yeah, they're all them changing, switchy, swatchy ass niggas and shit. Yeah, when that time come, they're gonna rise suddenly. Their calamity's gonna rise suddenly. That's why scriptures say that, with that pride, how it go, pride go before destruction, the Holy Spirit before fall. So they're gonna fall. They're gonna go down. All right, and it's gonna be straight ruins, rubble, and great is gonna be the fall of it. All right. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15, put up by the elder bro Monagan, GMS Spiritual Arc 144. It says, "See then that you walk circumspectly." Beautiful, because that's honestly the essence of the lesson, going back to the beginning. "See then that you walk circumspectly." In other words, having your head on a swivel. All right, all the way around, looking all the way around. When your head is on a swivel, you could turn quick, fast, and sharp at any given moment. So you gotta be quick, fast in these times. You gotta be shrewd. Look up that word shrewd and see what it means. Making quick, fast, decisive decisions. When it's very needful and what's the word? The word's at the tip of my head, but you just got to be prompt when it comes down to making decisions, right? So see then that you walk circumspectly, meaning looking all the way around, spiritually, physically as well, not as fools, but as wise, all right? Because you got foolish people just head in the sky, looking around, la-di-da, just don't know what's going on, clumsy motherfuckers out here. And then it says, "But not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the days, or redeeming the time, because the days are evil." All right, redeeming the times because the days are evil. So, redeem, like I was going to that, redeem means to buy back or to make good use, because you can't buy back time. You waste a day doing nothing, you can't buy that back. All right, but you can redeem the time. You can redeem the day, meaning to make good use of the time. So one person could waste a day doing shit while the other person can make good use of the time. That's how you redeem or buy back time, by making good use of the time. Why? Because the days are evil. So what are you doing with your time? All right, what are you doing with your time? All right, depopulation on the agenda at the Bilderberg meeting over the weekend. Look at that, bro. Yup. This devil want to make a move soon. Yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming. That's what we preparing for, bro. The Bible, foretells everything that we talk about. So it's coming, bro. It's coming. All right, it's definitely coming. It's definitely coming, man. All hell is getting ready to break loose. World War III is on the brink of popping off. But before that happened, the devil got to come down with great wrath, because that's when he gonna know that he have a short time. Once I gotta watch, see what's happening and popping with this Trump speech or whatever, and see how it's looking and what's going on, what's being said, blah blah blah. But just know that once they really involve themselves in this thing, then it's not gonna be full World War III at that point, but they're gonna make moves here in the shores of America, Babylon, and Great. All right, while you have other Israelites that don't acknowledge true prophecy, such as the MOTB, they're gonna be sitting there waiting, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for UFOs to show up and beam them up, while we waiting for the MOTB to be made mandatory and for the Lord to deliver us out of them situations and Jacob's trouble. So we different. They're not like us. All right. Every prophet ain't built the same. Every Israelite ain't built the same. All right. Every Israelite is not the same. So time is gonna tell at the end of the day. I'm gonna leave it at that, man. So I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it right there. Keep your head on a swivel. Like I said, I didn't really put nothing together for this, but I hope and pray that it was edifying and is edifying to the Lord's elect, those that tuned in. The water for the precepts, the water for chiming in. And I hope and pray that you were edified, man. But, to those that are lost in the sauce, hey, repent. Get serious about this thing, you know what I'm saying? We at the finish line, the final stretch, the last quarter, the final minutes of the last quarter. Now it's time to go hard, because the losing team is going to go hard